Part 12. Now, you might remember, as I had said somewhere earlier, that I had known a lot of things by the last hug brought about to me by the farewell party. I also might have told you somewhere that these revelations were slowly emerging out of darkness. So now, in this chapter, I shall be very happy to tell you about these revelations and the impact they had upon me. Can you create something out of nothing? Probably not. Then why focus directly on the changes rather than inventing our own ways through the mazes of invoking events as to emerge on the other side with the emotions, where I will be waiting for you with a cup of sweet-smelling hot chocolate and a warmth of crackling fires. It had been a long time since the emotions were bubbling through my heart, but it took me eternity to realize it. The inciting event, without doubt, was the hug. However, it was not all, for the emotions didn't spring out of life at that very moment. It waited, gently gushing through the pores of my heart, slowly with each and every event that followed. It was not much of a trouble to me, as I just let them seep out gently through my memories, but the latest events just burst it open, and I couldn't control it now. It was a gloomy weather that day of the second year of my med school. I had bunked 2 of my classes as I was far too overwhelmed with the tiredness brought about by the loathsome day. I laid there hoping to rest peacefully till the lofty hands of sleep gently caressed me and took me away with it. Maybe it was not destined to happen, for I couldn't sleep. I thought about watching a movie. It was not much often that I slept during the day. Maybe that's why it was hard for me to sleep that day. I searched frantically through my hard drive to see if I had some good movie. It was a tough time, as I had about 200 GB worth of movies, and finding a movie worth the time was an unthinkable task to be done then. I skated through the files for about 15 minutes or so when my eyes were caught upon by The Life of Pi. I hadn't watched the movie till then, and on top of that, had heard good reviews about the movie. So that was it, for my search had finally rested its soul upon the mysteries of The Life of Pi. I watched it, but the more I watched it, the more it tormented my soul. I was just baffled by the symbolism of the film. Truly speaking, my tired mind couldn't fathom the unremarkable similarity of the human story that was rumbling deep in the cover of a superficial animal story. It was way too much. I just finished the movie with so much effort just so that I could hear myself saying towards the final moments of the movie, "When will the story end? Damn it!" I cannot say at this moment whether I disliked the movie or envied its brilliance. It was something which irritated me so much that I had to go to cafeteria for a cup of coffee to rest my agitated mind and blazed soul. It was there that I met Deepak, one of my seniors. Though he was called by different names by his batchmates, I personally called him Deep. Well, not due to the fact that he looked like Johnny Depp, rather because of his words and philosophical talks, which were often deep in meaning. So maybe that's why, but who cares about why? Let's just talk about what. Yes, about what happened. As I was saying that I met Deep in the cafeteria, he was there with few of his friends and I was alone. As soon as he noticed me, he came to me and asked, "Can I sit here?" I could see that he was in quite a jolly mood, for he was trying to cheer me up, and believe me, the only thing a tormented mind can't do is to cheer someone else. Otherwise, as I call it, cheering on someone else, which means breaking and bashing stuffs and people, are often the things people with tormented mind prefer to do. He asked me, with a bit of hoarse encouragement on his shrill-pitched voice, "Why are you looking so gloomy? Is everything fine?" Had I been in my cool, calm mind, I would have definitely said, "It's great. I'm just feeling sleepy," with pretension of a sleepy sigh. But since my mind was already tormented, I couldn't afford more of trouble acting my way through. I just stared through him blankly and maintained the silence. but he was in no mood to be budged today. He insisted on knowing the secrets to my blank look and sad air, so I said it in a fit of pique, though being aware of not sounding too contemptuous, for I deeply respected him. I'm just feeling irritated. I was tired, so bunked the class only to end up watching Life of Pi. And he was watching intently into my eyes as if I was revealing the secrets about the whereabouts of the golden city of El Dorado or the well-revered Holy Grail. I was further irritated by the inquisitive look. With a sigh, I completed. And the film was much of a disappointment to me, though I don't mean to say it was not a nice movie, but it just cracked my mind out at the last part. So that's why I look sad now. Actually, I'm just irritated. I completed my final sip of coffee, though the coffee was steaming hot and nearly burnt my tongue. At least, that was far better than getting my mind further burnt out by talking about all the nonsense of the film once again. So I, with the utmost care to show him my best airs I could possibly at the moment, without being infuriated, greeted him goodbye, arose from the chair I had been sitting on. I was just about to move when he thought of crossing my path once again and said with an abrupt intonation, "Oh wait, I forgot to tell you about the music program that I'm thinking about doing this Teacher's Day." Music? Yes, that was the word what my mind wanted to get itself out of its annoying tantrums. I turned back with a refreshed look and sat down on the chair, inquiring on the matter with a great deal of enthusiasm. With the same amount of enthusiasm and spark, he told me about his plans for the program. He also mentioned that he was searching for a female singer and had called a few for audition, and took on his modest air, approaching me. "Would you mind sitting on the audition with me? If you are not busy, I mean. I think you would enjoy it, won't you?" I looked happy and surprised at the same time because of two things. Firstly, the talk of music itself had cheered me up. Secondly, the modest approach thrown towards me was just another topping on the cake of joy. On top of that, I had also been invited to take part in the program itself. I replied with joy dancing on the top of my head. "Yes, of course, I'd love to. In fact, I'd be more than happy to take part in the program. Thanks for asking me." I had this happy feeling fixed into the constant smile for a few moments, until I heard the voices from back calling, "Excuse me, are you Deepak Dai?" I gestured towards the original owner of the name. There were singers who had come for the audition. I stayed there listening with a merry feeling, for this was maybe the first time after Srija that I had heard a female singer live. This made me nostalgic. I couldn't hear anything except the memories ringing on my ears, so I closed my eyes and swam in the memories of high school. For a while, everything around me went blank. I couldn't see anything, of course, but at the same time, I couldn't hear or feel anything. I was numbed to the brink of questioning my own existence. I didn't know what happened after that, because when I opened my eyes, Deep was commenting on the performance of one of the singer and telling the other to sing. He asked me which one sang better, but all I could reply was that both sang well. I don't know what to say because both were singing flawlessly. In fact, I didn't listen to any of them properly. I couldn't pay attention because I was drowned in the sweet, nostalgic memories. After the audition, we went back to the hostel, into the rooms of one of our seniors who was supposed to be our male singer. We talked there about a lot of things, about music, about what music meant to him, about performance, and many other stuffs. But the thing that touched me the most was his true emotions and passion towards singing. He said, "Singing is not just a time pass for me. It's more like a window through which I vent out my inner emotions, maybe just the way pen and paper works out for you. I don't sing because I have to sing, but because the true emotions that overwhelms me can only find its way out through me by the path of singing. I feel every line in the lyrics of the song when I sing it. And sometimes I cry when I sing sad songs and smile on singing the funky ones and get a rosy feeling on singing the romantic songs. Maybe that's what singing is for me. Every time I remember these words, a sense of respect emerges out of my heart for his connection with singing. For a moment, I think I wish I could say the same for singing, though I can say similar for my writings. I envy singers very much, but I don't understand why. Maybe because I can't sing just well, or because now I'm learning to sing. At least I can say that I have felt its texture and touched its taste, even if just for once, and maybe someday I can say similarly for my singing as well. Also, every other moment that I remember these words, I remember Shrija, and now recently Alfia as well, because I think these lines fit for both of them. I also remember the time when my cousin used to sing. That night, it rained like cats and dogs. Each raindrop brought with it the slowly brewing emotions of my heart to the barren lands of my present state. I couldn't sleep properly that night. All the thoughts and nostalgic emotions rang my mind multiple times with multiple pitch like the bells on a temple. They constantly engorged every bit of cell in my body with a lively force which was ever increasing in intensity and frequency until I don't know when I felt asleep, only to get awakened the next morning with the screeches and cracking of the roommates over some nuisance stuff which they seemed to bother themselves by almost every morning. Had it been some other regular days, I would have scolded them, but that morning I didn't speak out a word. Just got up, brushed, made myself a coffee, sat on the balcony enjoying the morning sun. It was already late for class, but I was determined not to go to class that very day and made myself quite comfortable on the balcony.